Okay, it being 2:30, I'll call the exec session for the House Finance Committee meeting to order. And I'd like to recognize that we have several people filling in for our absent members. Henry Gason is sitting in for Gary Daniels. Connie Lake is sitting in for Karen Lane. Connie Lane is sitting in for Karen Abel. Chris Schultz sitting in for Mary Hacken Phillips. Allison Murray is sitting in for David Priest. Rita Madison sitting in for Brian Seaworth. And Terry Spilsbury sitting in for Harry Bean. Since Harry Bean has recently died, I'd just like to take a moment of silence in his memory. Thank you. All right, we've got several bills to go through today. We've put Division 3 in the front because half of the bills are theirs. And so I'll call upon Representative Mooney to make the motions on House Bill 661 and the other subsequent ones in Division 3.
Thank you, Chairman Weiler. I'd like to start with House Bill 661 from Division 3. And I'm going to start by moving an amendment that will be distributed now. The amendment is number 2026-821H. That is the amendment. In fact, I'll move it right now so I can discuss it.
All right, motion to adopt amendment 0821, was it?
Correct, 821H.
Is there a second? And second by Representative Wallner.
Thank you. House Bill 661 may look familiar to you, and there's a reason for that. It came to this committee last year, and the recommendation was for interim study after it was retained. But once it came to the House floor last fall, it was committed back to our committee. And as a result of that, Division 3 has spent, again, a lot of time on this bill. In fact, we're going on probably 4 years for this bill, and the history is quite long. Essentially, the situation is this. Right now, in New Hampshire, there are approximately 250 or so out of 1,500 children in foster care that receive federal benefits, either disability or Social Security. That money is currently being used toward their care. It is a source of revenue. It's not illegal or wrong. It's just the way things have been set up here. This bill attempts to put that money, those benefits, into a separate account. So when those children leave foster care, they can take an account with them. Now, it's been relatively complicated to get to this point for several reasons. One of which is the logistics of this. In fact, they're so vast that what this amendment does is really piecemeal the process because it's that large. So the amendment does a few things, far from the original bill. First of all, the first section is related to payees. When a child comes into foster care, if they don't have a payee, the state would then be able to look for a payee other than the state. Next, it sets up what are called ABLE accounts, which are interest-bearing accounts to be able to start this process of letting foster children keep their own benefits. Also, in this amendment, there is reference to a letter that came from the United States Health and Human Services and an executive order. I'll go back to that in a minute. Additionally, this amendment also precludes anyone who is in foster care prior to the setup of these accounts from collecting from the state their benefits. But let me get back to that provision on page 3 of the amendment, starting on line 3, executive order. From the time this bill was on the House floor with an interim study recommendation from this committee in the fall to now, a few things have happened. First of all, our president, Donald Trump, issued an executive order on November 13th, 2025, encouraging states that don't already allocate these funds in a separate account to start doing it. In that executive order, he also mentions our First Lady, Melania Trump, as this is an initiative of hers. Then on December 8th, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, that is Robert Kennedy Jr. and an Undersecretary Adams, sent letters to the states that don't have any infrastructure to make this happen on December 8th. And that letter was addressed to Governor Ayotte, saying, do what you can to make this happen if you're not doing it already, because children in foster care need to get their benefits put aside so they can withdraw them when they leave foster care. Now, that letter also says that the federal government will do anything it can to provide resources and money, though we have seen none of that yet. Neither the executive order or the letter have come with checks attached. So this section on page 3, line 3, asks the Department of Human Services to pursue that offer of resources and what it takes to get this started. So there's an incredible amount going on here. But at this point, I would ask for a vote on the motion we have at hand, and that is to adopt amendment number 821H to House Bill 661.
Okay, how do you wish to do this? Is a show of hands sufficient, or do you want a roll call? All right, let's do it with a show of hands. How many support the amendment? Looks to be unanimous. Hands down. Was there anybody in opposition that I failed to count? The amendment is adopted. Further motion.
Okay, at this point, I would like to move ought to pass as amended on House Bill 661.
Okay, a motion ought to pass as amended. Is there a second? Okay. All right, further discussion.
Perhaps Representative Wallner at this point would like to say a few remarks, as she has put a substantial amount of time into this bill over the past previous terms.
Thank you, Representative Mooney. Yes, I have put in a number of days and hours on this particular piece of legislation, and I think Representative Mooney actually did an excellent summary of what is included here in the amendment. These children are children who receive benefits for some very specific reason through the Social Security Administration. Either they've lost a parent, or their parent is disabled, or the child themselves are disabled. So this is a very, very special group of children. It's not easy to receive Social Security benefits. And these benefits are there for them. And I can't stress how important they are to these children when they age out of foster care. These are children who probably, unlike most of your children, are not going to go home to a happy family who have the resources to help them go to college, get a car, help them get a job, provide them with shelter. These are kids who have probably not got a place to go to when they leave foster care. So having this bit of money set aside for them so when they do age out, they can get started in life without ending up homeless or without an education or without transportation to get to a job. So it's really important, and this is a very, very special group of children who have not only had their own difficulties in life by losing a parent or being disabled, but they also then end up in foster care, which is a traumatic experience for any child. And it will follow them through their life. So this will give them a good start as they move through adulthood. And I think actually makes sense in some ways because for the state, because these children then won't end up as adults needing state assistance. They won't be homeless when they first leave foster care. They won't be people who will need assistance because they will have some of their own resources. So I hope you will vote to pass this amendment.
Representative Mooney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just quickly, I would add that the total cost of this bill is approximately $280,000 out of general funds, and that is for consultant fees to set this up. As I mentioned earlier, this is going to be a piecemeal process. It will take time. In pieces, the department is new to the department. They need outside resources to figure it out. I'd also point out Section 7 of the now amended bill. That is the effective dates. So Section 1, effective July 2027. Section 2, 2028. Again, highlighting the point that this is a process, and I think we can be proud to pass this today and send it to the floor again. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Okay, Representative McGuire.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to vote against this motion, not because I think it's necessarily bad policy, but I think it's just way too much open questions. We don't know how much we're committing ourselves to long term. And so I think the original way that the Finance Committee was going to deal with this from last year was interim study, and I would prefer that.
I have prepared a motion for interim study. This is pretty recent that this executive order has come down, and it stirred up things among at least 37 states. And they all have different ways of addressing this, and I don't think we should spend $280,000 on a consultant to look at what they're doing. When we have a research section, I already have a preliminary report from Mila Padden about what some of the states are doing. I have some personal experience with Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and I'm the rep payee for a person there that's in a program. And the way they do it, I set up an account. The Social Security money, it's $20,000 a year roughly, comes into the account. Then the Commonwealth has contracted with someone that takes care of her that demands 75% of that money. So immediately 75% is written to the check to that contractor. She gets to keep the rest. I have to make annual reports of what happened with the rest to the penny. And somehow I think Massachusetts has gotten away with that. I'm going to call them up lately because this wasn't foster care. It was a different type of care. But anyway, she's a ward of the state. And if that works so that money can still go to the state for the care of the person who they're providing for, and it's legal as long as it's done within a framework that's saying these are for their personal needs, I think we can probably get that done. That's why I want to take it back and wait and see what some of the ripples go around and see what state has done it that's been approved by the feds. So I'm not going to vote for this, but I will be putting forward a report for interim study. Thank you. Anything further? All right, we've adopted the amendment. The motion before us is ought to pass as amended. Clerk will call the roll on that motion on House Bill 661 FN.
Representative McGuire,
No.
Representative Earth,
No.
Representative Mooney.
Yes.
The clerk votes nay. Representative Spilsbury,
No.
Representative Cambrose,
No.
Representative Papadopoulos,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
No.
Representative Jason,
That's you, Henry.
Sorry,
Oh.
how do you pronounce your name?
Guyson.
Gaius,
Guyson,
I apologize.
No.
I took
right?
phonics in the first grade. I took California phonics in the first grade. And it's just like California math, you don't learn anything.
All right, he votes no.
Yep.
Next one.
Representative Madison,
Yes, no, sorry, no.
Representative Carol McGuire,
No,
Representative Nelvenko,
No.
Representative Farrington,
No.
Representative Walner,
yes,
Representative Leachman,
Yes.
Representative Murray. I'm
Yes.
sorry, Representative Kate Murray,
I'm a yes.
Representative Lang,
Yes.
Representative Tursky,
yes,
Representative Schultz,
Yes.
Representative Stringham,
Yes.
Representative A. Murray,
Yes.
Representative Rung,
Yes.
Representative Munns,
Yes.
Representative Kelly,
Yes.
Chairman Weiler.
No. Motion is adopted 13-11. I will be putting in a minority report.
It's the other
Did I
way
count it
around.
wrong?
11 to 13, so it's 11 yeses.
Yeah, I say it passes 13-11, so you put the winning side.
Okay.
You have 25.
Yeah, that doesn't add to 25. Must be
What did I have wrong here?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Did you
12,
call Sweeney?
14. I got to check next to his name. I
All right,
think
13-12. All right. Motion is adopted. There will be a minority report. Thank you. All right, we'll move on to the next item.
I got to correct that. I have 14 to 11.
14-11. All right,
No.
I got 13-12.
Where are your yays?
The A's are here.
Okay, hang on. Maureen's a yay.
Oh. Okay, I'm sorry. I've been corrected.
All right. Correction, 13-12.
No.
And the reports will be written by Representative Mooney and Representative Weiler.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I will get you a committee report on ought to pass as amended, the majority side on House Bill 661.
Very good. All right, the next one in your committee.
Yes, next one on my committee is House Bill 1515 out of Division 3. We do have an amendment.
So, yeah, so what was the correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So you had the count, just, check it. I assume this is 12 over here, right? I'm sorry, I thought I was.
That's not the amendment. He voted.
This is the bill, right? This is the bill.
Yeah.
Why was voting?
He didn't vote here. 12 to 13.
These are your yays. I passed.
Yeah, those are the A's.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
All right.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
All right. Go ahead, Representative Mooney.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Moving on to House Bill 1515. I would like to move amendment number 690H, and then once it's seconded, I'd be glad to explain the amendment.
Okay. Can we do this with a show of hands? All the noes. All right, let's get a second. Carol McGuire seconds. All in favor, raise your hand, please.
Can we?
All right, we'll have some kind of explanation first before we vote. That would seem appropriate.
Okay, I will discuss that then. The original bill came to us deleting sections Roman 1 through 6 relative to the child care workforce programs that are in House Bill 2 right now. Now, these 6 sections, which if you have your House Bill 2 handy, start on page 134 and go to the top of page 136. They spell out the child care workforce program. In section 1, it makes it very clear that the feds are to pay the full amount of the program, a total cost of $15 million, about $7.5 million in each year. So the original bill was to get rid of all of that. The ask for the federal funds, the infrastructure around starting this program, and then there's section 6, which says that the Department of Health and Human Services shall incorporate in its biannual appropriation request an amount necessary to fully fund the program. Now, interestingly enough, these sections 1 through 6 came from the budget previous to the one we just passed last year. So this is pour over language from 2 budgets ago, nothing new. So Division 3 would like to keep that language intact, keep the federal request coming, which I'll get to more in the next bill, but delete only section 6, only section Roman 6 of that section, which would basically require the state to fully fund the workforce program. Thank you.
Is the effective date what you wanted?
Yes.
That would take us back 7 or 8 months.
The effective date on the amendment, number 690H, is July 1, 2026. Is that what you're?
That's right, what I'm thinking. Okay, all right, so that's months from now. All right, very good. I don't know what I was thinking of. All right. Who's next? Representative Wallner.
Thank you. I am going to vote against the amendment and in the bill because the amendment, what's left of this particular bill, this amendment also is included in the next bill that we will go into around the child care workforce. And it was very discouraging to see 1515 come forth, which would have basically gotten rid of the child care workforce program, which is so important right now to the state of child care, which I think everyone is always talking about how there isn't enough child care. Well, there's not going to be enough child care until there are enough people in the workforce. So I am going to vote against this amendment and then against the bill.
Okay, we'll have the clerk call the roll on the amendment to 1515. Amendment is 0690H on House Bill 1515.
And it's
0690.
0690H.
Okay.
Okay. Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney,
Yes.
clerk votes yes. Representative Spilsbury,
Yes.
Representative Cambrose,
Yes.
Representative Papaducci Miller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Guyson,
Yes.
Representative Madison,
Yes.
Representative Carol McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Nalvanko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Walner,
No.
Representative Leachman,
No.
Representative Murray,
No.
Representative Ling,
No.
Representative Turleski,
No.
Representative Schultz,
No.
Representative Stringham,
Yes.
Representative A. Murray,
No.
Representative Rung,
No.
Hold on, slow down. Stringham, what'd you vote?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. See, this must be over the other side.
thank you. You gotta watch me. Representative Munns,
No.
Representative Kelly,
No.
Weiler votes yes.
and that's the 15-10.
15-10, the amendment is adopted. Recognize Representative Mooney for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this point, I'm going to recognize Representative Nalavanko for an ought to pass as amended motion.
On House Bill 1515, I make a motion that it ought to pass with the amendment.
Second by
Second.
Representative Popovich Miller. Okay, further discussion on ought to pass as amended. Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll on the motion of ought to pass as amended for House Bill 1515.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney,
Yes.
clerk votes yes. Representative Spilsbury,
Yes.
Representative Cambrose,
Yes.
Representative Popovich Miller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Guyson,
Yes.
Representative Madison,
Yes.
Representative Carol McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Nalvanko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Walner,
No.
Representative Leachman,
No.
Representative Murray,
No.
Representative Lane,
No.
Representative Turleski,
No.
Representative Schultz,
No.
Representative Stringham,
No.
Representative A. Murray,
No.
Representative Rung,
No.
Representative Munns,
No.
Representative Kelly,
No.
Weiler?
Representative Weiler.
Yes.
Sorry, I keep forgetting it. I start adding up too soon. It's, I guess it's
14 to 11.
14 to 11.
Okay, 14 to 11. I originally told you that I would demand that all the reports be given to me today, expecting Paul Smith to get on my back and say, I want them right away. But if we don't finish up today, we will not be allowed to meet again till the 2nd of March. So gives you a little more time if you don't have the reports ready. And I hope you can get them to me by Monday at least. So Representative Nalavanko.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to make a note that Representative Seaworth will be doing the majority report on this.
You will be doing what?
The majority report.
Okay, Representative Seaworth, thank you. All right,
There'll be a minority report, Mr. Chairman.
and who will do it?
Representative Wallner is.
Okay, thank you. So has Seaworth got it done already, do you know, Rich?
I believe he's already submitted that.
All right, very good. I
Chairman.
think, yes, I do have that now that I think about it. I have it here from him, so I have that report. Thank you. Representative Mooney is recognized for the next bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Next bill out of Division 3, House Finances, House Bill 1566. Very similar to House Bill 1515, related to those same 6 Roman numerals that appear in House Bill 2 this past term and House Bill 2 the previous term. At this point, I would like to make a motion on an amendment to the bill. The amendment number is 697H, being distributed now, and would ask for a second on the motion.
Motion to accept Amendment 2026-0697H by Representative Mooney. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Representative Farrington seconds. Further discussion?
Yes, I can tell you how this amendment would change the original ask in House Bill 1566. As I mentioned before, and you see a common theme, it's almost like a storytelling from the previous bill. In the 6 sections of House Bill 2, Section 1 says that the federal government will foot the bill for the entirety of $15 million over 2 years for the Child Care Workforce Program, $7.5 million in each year. And frankly, based on discussions I recall very clearly last year in the budget process, that was our intent, that the federal government pick up that entire tab. Now, when DHHS has reached out to the federal government, the answer to whether or not the money's coming has been vague. This is surprising. The original House Bill 1566 would say, well, then you, the state, your general funds cover the full amount of $15 million, by the way, for 1 year. The original appropriation in House Bill 2 last year was $15 million over 2 years. So this amendment would clarify the ask that DHHS will make to the federal government to seek that $15 million of federal funds. And additionally, it does also remove Section 6. Yes, we just voted on that, but here it is again. Section 6 of that House Bill 2 there. So no money in this amendment. A re-ask. Representative Wallner and myself met with Senators Lang and Rosenwald to discuss this because they have a twin bill in the Senate. They too are perplexed as to where a clear answer is. And the 4 of us co-signed a letter to the federal delegation in New Hampshire asking also for clarification on this. So we're moving in that direction. And with that, I would ask you to pass amendment number 697H to House Bill 1566. Thank you.
Further discussion on the committee. Representative Wallner.
Yes, thank you. So in division, because the money was stripped out of the bill, I did vote against the amendment, but I am going to vote today in favor of the amendment. I think what we need to do is continue to move this forward and continue our work in trying to understand what the federal government has been telling the Department of Health and Human Services. The answer we've gotten so far has been foggy, to say the least. Some people interpret it one way, some people interpret it another way. So we've done a lot of work on trying to get a better understanding of how these funds can be used. And I am going to vote in favor of this amendment today.
Can we do the amendment by show of hands? Any objection? All in favor of adopting amendment, please raise your hand. Looks unanimous, hands down. Is there anybody voting no? The motion is adopted unanimously. Representative Mooney's recognized.
Thank you. With that, I will recognize Representative Farrington for an ought to pass with amendment motion.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would now move to ought to pass as amendment on HB 1566.
And there is a second from
Second.
Representative Mooney. Further discussion? Seeing none, clerk will call the roll on the motion of ought to pass as amended on House Bill 1566. The amendment we just discussed is 0690.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney,
Yes.
clerk votes yes. Representative Spilsby,
Yes.
Representative Cambrose,
Yes.
697, I'm sorry.
Representative Papabucci Miller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Guyson,
Yes.
Representative Madison,
Yes.
Representative Carol McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Nelvenko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
Yes.
Representative Leachman,
Yes.
Representative Murray,
Yes.
Representative Lang,
Yes.
Representative Terlitsky,
Yes.
Representative Schultz,
Yes.
Representative Stringham,
Yes.
Representative A. Murray,
Yes.
Representative Rung,
Yes.
Representative Munns,
Yes.
Representative Kelly,
Yes.
Chair Weiler,
Yes.
25-0.
Okay, any objection to putting this on consent? Wait a minute, is there money in it?
Not
No money.
anymore with the amendment.
All right, let's put it on consent. Thank you. Representative Mooney is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and in fact, I'm going to recognize you right back on House Bill 1569 for an ought to pass motion.
Thank you. I would move ought to pass on House Bill 1569. Here will be my report. While we were working on the budget a year ago, we were making cuts to the HHS budget. They suddenly asked to have $5 million added to their revenue by saying that they would sell the Philbrick building. And we put it in there. A few days ago, a number of us toured the Philbrick building. It has two wings. One is a 15-bed, could be wrong on that, it could be 16, 17. Anyway, it has a transitional living facility. The other is the administrative offices for the New Hampshire Hospital, housing over 40 personnel. The building looked in reasonable condition. Experience has shown that putting an amount of money in a budget has proven to be a delaying tactic. For 10 years, we carried $10 million in budgets for selling the Laconia Hospital, and it still hasn't sold. We've also had some delays on selling the YDC property. The addition to the New Hampshire Hospital is about a year behind. I cite all this to show that the committee does not believe that anything has been done about a sale of the Philbrick building. It would involve a very complex subdivision of some of this 100+ acre property. We also know from some recent moves that the cost of moving can easily be $1 million. And we saw no plan for where the two functions would move to next. For all these reasons, we believe the sale was a delaying tactic for budget cuts, and we should cancel the proposal. Move on to pass without amendment. Second is Representative Stringham. Further discussion? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll on the motion. Representative McGuire.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess there's a question for the LVA. Should this bill pass, would we consider this an appropriation of 5 million or some breaking the budget somehow?
I think when Mike Kane does his snapshots or his surplus statements, he would reflect this as a revenue reduction of $5 million, yes.
So maybe not on consent then?
All right. Sounds reasonable. All right. Motion is ought to pass. Clerk will call the roll. If there's no further discussion, we'll move right along. We'll be out of here.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earl,
Yes.
Representative Mooney,
Yes.
Representative, the clerk votes yes. Representative Spilsbury,
Yes.
Representative Cambrose,
Yes.
Representative Papabucci Miller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Guyson,
Yes.
Representative Madison,
Yes.
Representative Carol McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Nalvanko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
Yes.
Representative Leachman,
Yes.
Representative Murray,
Yes.
Representative Lane,
Yes.
Representative Terlitsky,
Yes.
Representative Schultz,
Yes.
Representative Stringham,
Yes.
Representative A. Murray,
Yes.
Representative Rung,
Yes.
Representative Munns,
Yes.
Representative Kelly,
Yes.
Chair Weiler,
Yes.
25-0.
Okay, the motion passes. All right, I guess we're done with No, we still have one more on Representative Mooney's recognized for House Bill 1750.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think at this time, I'm going to recognize Representative Nalavenko for an ITL motion, House Bill 1750.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I make a motion to ITL
Still gonna murder.
House Bill 1750.
Second.
A motion and a second to make House Bill 1750 inexpedient to legislate. Further discussion? Representative Stringham.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 1750 restores funding for the SNAP program that is being eliminated by the federal government in H.R. 1. H.R. 1 is a federal law that passed 3 days after the state of New Hampshire's biennium budget went into effect. One provision of H.R. 1 was to increase the percentage of SNAP program administrative cost that the states, in our case New Hampshire, are responsible for. It raised them from 50% of the administrative cost to 75% of the administrative cost, beginning on October 1st of 2026. This unexpected and unforeseen results in additional $4.4 million in state general funds being needed due to the downshifting of administrative burden from the feds to the states in this biennium. This SNAP program is valuable for those in need as well as New Hampshire businesses. About 75,000 Granite Staters receive $154 million in food on a personal electronic card that can be used in over 1,000 stores in New Hampshire. This $154 million is 100% from the federal government and paid directly to those who receive it. We only pay for our share of the administrative portion of this program. Another element of the federal H.R. 1 bill was to require an administrative error rate below 6%. If this rate is above 6%, the state becomes responsible in future budgets for a portion of the SNAP benefits, currently at $154 million. A failure to provide properly trained eligibility administrative staff runs the risk of dramatically increasing the cost of the SNAP program in future budgets. Failure to pass this bill recklessly eliminates administrative management and oversight funds of this $4.4 million that we're losing. So for this reason, I'm going to vote against the ITL motion. And I recommend that we appropriate the funds for this biennium that we originally appropriated and just handle this because of this unexpected change. Thank you.
Further discussion? Representative Mooney.
Actually, I'm going to defer to Representative Nalavenko.
Yeah, I think I would make the comment that we heard a couple of things in testimony that argue in favor of ITLing this bill. One of them was there was an emergency during the shutdown. There was an emergency supplemental amount of funds for this program. And I think those funds weren't totally used. I think if I remember correctly, there was about $1.7 million of funds that got absorbed into the DHHS program. That was one aspect of it. So there's some funds there that are readily, I think, recommitted to the program. And the second point that we heard in testimony that if we didn't approve this bill, nobody would suffer a loss of SNAP benefits. And I think another thing that we heard in testimony with regard to the error rate aspect of this, that mostly the error rate was in a controllable bucket. We got some further definition on what components of error rate there were, and this seems to be a controllable aspect of this. Now, there was testimony that given the current freeze in hiring and given the fact that this is a very complicated thing that it was, that you posed some issues for DHHS in managing that, but nonetheless, it is manageable and controllable. So I just make those comments for some of the rationale while I'll be supporting the motion to ITL.
Thank you. Further discussion, Representative Tulowitzki.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In response to my colleague across the table, I want to point out that the error rates are controllable with trained staff and staff who are doing the eligibility work, which right now they don't have the staff trained because they don't have the ability to hire those people. Now, they've already shown a reduction in the error rate from 2023 to 2024, a significant reduction in the error rate, which shows that they have the processes in place to get their staff up and running. Now, if we don't approve this and our error rate starts to go back up, this turns into a snowball of penalty fees that over the course of the next few years, we're going to be at not paying 4.4 million, we're going to be paying well over $15 million because of that increased penalty rate. So error rate, excuse me. So I just think that it's sort of penny wise and pound foolish, and we should move ahead with the appropriation and make sure that the department has the resources it needs to ensure that the staff is trained up, the eligibility team can do its work, and they can ensure that these benefits that is $154 million that goes into this New Hampshire economy and to our mom and pop stores on Main Street, that program continues. Thank you.
Further discussion, Representative Mooney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just very briefly, to reiterate, this bill addresses only administrative costs of the program. The 154 or so million that comes into the program comes directly from the federal government. No benefits will be affected by the actions here. And why is this bill here? It's because House Resolution 1, otherwise known as One Big Beautiful Bill, signed July 4, 2025, cuts the federal portion of the administrative costs only by 25%. They would have paid 50. 25% is the cut starting this October. But there are a couple of big issues here. First of all, that figure, 4.4 million, is fluid. It is a base. It is likely to be more. And also, we have to ask ourselves as a state, are we ready to start paying where the federal government cuts? Thank you.
From further testimony, it seems like there's 250 staff that are overseeing 50 programs for eligibility tests. So this is just one of them. So they've got a lot of staff, they've got 50 programs to oversee, and perhaps it's the training, perhaps it's something else, but they can't hire more people because they got a hiring freeze. So putting 4.4 million, I don't think will help with 250 staff and 50 programs that are overseen by those staff. They can maybe find money in some other programs or somewhere else in the HHS budget. Thank you. Anything else? Seeing none. The motion is before us is inexpedient to legislate. Representative from Representative Nalavanko, and I think the second was Representative McGuire. And the clerk will call the roll on that motion.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney.
Yes.
The clerk votes yes. Representative Spilsbury,
Yes.
Representative Cambrose,
Yes.
Representative Popovici Mueller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Guyson,
Yes.
Representative Matson.
Yes.
Representative Carol McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Nalvanko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
No.
Representative Leachman,
No.
Representative Murray,
No.
Representative Lang,
No.
Representative Terliski,
No.
Representative Schultz,
No.
Representative Stringham,
No.
Representative Murray,
No.
Representative Rung,
No.
Representative Munns,
No.
Representative Kelly.
No.
Did I get one?
You didn't call me.
Oh, I'm getting there. I want to check on,
No, Mary Jane would
I'm
know.
sorry.
Mary Jane, you would know, correct?
Chair Weiler,
Yes,
14 to 11.
I thought it was 15 to 10. Did one of you vote yes? No. All right.
We
14 to
all
11.
oppose the ITL.
All right, moving on to Division 2. Representative Erf is recognized.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, there'll be a minority report on seventeen
All right,
fifty.
let me get that down. He's got it, very good.
Representative Stringham will handle that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the only bill in Division Two is HB 1399, making an appropriation to the Claremont School District for costs associated with a building renovation project from the Revenue Stabilization Reserve account. And I will look to Representative Popovich for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make a motion of ITL on HB 1399.
Second. Would you like to speak to your motion, sir?
Thank you. So very briefly, since this is a topic that we've discussed extensively, both in the context of addressing the current crisis and situation in Claremont, and also in the context of multiple past bills that try to retroactively provide building aid for projects that were completed at times when it was known that no building aid was available. This bill kind of combines the worst of the two in a sense. I appreciate that the prime sponsor is trying to help, and I respect their intent, and we have no question that they're trying to do the right thing, but putting money into one district that has issues, even if it's claimed to be under the guise of the building aid situation, it's not defensible in either of those two arguments, and I would ask all my colleagues to support the ITL motion.
Further discussion? Representative Erf?
No.
I do.
So I seconded it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You don't have, okay. Yeah. Anyway, Representative Kate Murray.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We had difficulty supporting this in the committee, but since then, we've constructed an amendment, which we would be pleased to present with the expectation that perhaps you would consider it, and instead of an ITL, an OTP. The amendment is to replace all, which would look at a committee. This is not going to be the only circumstance that we see in this regard. And I was proposing in the amendment that we have a committee to look at mechanisms and solutions going forward so that we have policies in place. We have some idea of where we're going because this will come up again. So I would beg your indulgence. I recognize this is perhaps unusual and asking a lot of you, but if you would instead vote against the ITL so that we could entertain the amendment. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll have to defeat the ITL to go on to the amendment. Is that okay with you?
Yes, that would be fine with me. If you would do that, I would appreciate the consideration.
Would you like us to look at the amendment? If Kevin has it available.
That would be
we can
great,
look at it
yes.
now. So being fair.
Thank you. And I can speak to it briefly in terms while he's handing it out. As I said, it's a forward-looking approach in the amendment to consider how we're going to be addressing these issues going forward. This is not the only situation. We still have a number of schools that are dealing with these issues. We still have school districts that are dealing with asbestos, they're dealing with lead. 20% of our buildings have not been updated in over 35 years. We're going to have to face this at some point, that we need to address the building aid with the issues that Claremont has brought forward and with other issues. So this is simply an opportunity to take the information that we have, address the issue, perhaps do something that's constructive in going forward. So I know that it's asking a lot, but I do ask your consideration in trying to provide a structure to address the issues. Thank you.
Thank you. In reply, the building aid program was introduced in 1956. We kept adding more new students every year, and people had to build new schools for those new students. So that went on until 2011, when we realized every year we were having fewer students. So why do we still have a building aid program when we what are we building new buildings when we're losing students? So we took it out of the budget in 2011, except for emergency things. And one of the programs that was later on added was these vestibules with cameras and locked doors, so people just couldn't come walking into a school. And that was about $10 million a year, that program, to make sure that there were cameras and trigger locks so that not anybody could come walking into the school. So that was one thing that everybody was in support of because of what we'd seen recently with school shootings. So that was a reason. But one of the things I discovered when I was on a committee for the UNH is they come in and they wanted a new building, and it got approved in the capital budget. But we looked at it, and somebody questioned the fact that how much are you spending on maintenance? Almost nothing. So you can't let a building deteriorate to where it needs to be replaced when you could have been maintaining it a lot cheaper through the years. And so this is likely to be going on, and from what we heard in the Claremont discussions, the same thing was going on there. So it doesn't make me think we got to restore the building aid program. Your reply?
Yes, thank you. I agree with a great deal of what you say, and I think you make a good argument for having a committee like this for the very reasons that you're stating.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Representative Papavici-Mueller.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Having had an opportunity to quickly review the amendment, this would turn this directly referred to finance bill into a policy bill that should have gone to education funding and gotten hearings there and gone through the proper committee. I really appreciate the intent of the bill, but I do not plan to change my I vote on the ITL motion based on this. I am looking forward to continuing to work on the best way to address those concerns, through the proper channels.
Further discussion. Representative Carol McGuire.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It so happens that there is already a committee looking into school building aid, and there have been a number of bills this year that are dealing with school building aid, and adding another one would be redundant and wasteful.
Thank you. Further discussion. Seeing none. The motion is inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 1399. The clerk will call the roll on that motion.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney,
Yes.
clerk votes yes. Representative Spilsbury,
Yes.
Representative Campbell,
Yes.
Representative Papavici-Mueller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Guyerson,
Yes.
Representative Matson,
Yes.
Representative Carol McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Nalvanko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
No.
Representative Leachman,
No.
Representative Murray,
No.
Representative Lane,
No.
Representative Turleski,
No.
Representative Schultz,
No.
Representative Stringham,
No.
Representative A. Murray,
No.
Representative Rung,
No.
Representative Munns,
No.
Representative Kelly,
No.
Chair Weiler,
Yes.
14 to 11.
Okay. Next, thank you, Representative Earth for Division 2. Moving to Division 1.
Mr. Chair, I will submit a minority report.
Minority report from Representative Murray. Thank you.
For amendment? With the amendment or just OTP?
You're going to be OTPA with, and
Yes.
mention the amendment. That's the way to go. Okay. Representative Campbell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to introduce, I believe you all have a copy, for House Bill 1042, we have an amendment, 2026-0859H. I'd like to make a motion to move it, and I will speak to it once I get a second.
Second by Representative Sweeney.
Okay, this is a very, very simple amendment. The only thing we changed was the final figure for the cap on line 10. We reduced that from 450 million to 400 million. This was a bipartisan agreement. We felt that, Division One felt that this was a better compromise than what the Senate has passed, which is 500 million, which we don't believe will pass on the floor. But we all agreed that the 400 million figure was something that was doable. So with that, I would like to make a motion to pass this amendment to OTP.
All right, Amendment 0859 is moved by Representative Cambrils, and I think the second was Representative Sweeney. Okay, further discussion on the amendment? Can we do this by a show of hands? All in favor, raise your hand. Hands down, opposed? Okay, amendment is adopted.
What was the vote?
22 to 3.
22 to 3.
Thank you.
Okay, and thank you. And with that, I would like to recognize Representative Sweeney for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would move that the committee recommend House Bill 1042 ought to pass as amended.
And I will second that motion.
All right. OTPA, further discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Representative Sweeney.
I'll speak to my motion briefly. The testimony and work session that we received from the Executive Director of the Business Finance Authority and the State Treasurer made it clear that this proposal does not appropriate funds, does not issue debt. It adjusts the contingent credit limit so that the Business Finance Authority can continue operating effectively. The BFA has operated for more than 30 years without the state ever having to pay on a guarantee, maintains loss rates under 1%, and is fully self-funded without taxpayer dollars. Every transaction requires collateral, reserves, approval by the BFA board, and final approval by the governor and executive council. The state treasurer indicated there is no negative impact on the state's bond rating from this increase, and even under a modeled worst-case scenario that assumes all guaranteed debt is triggered, the debt service to revenue ratio remains well below the 10% warning threshold monitored by rating agencies. The amendment lowered the contingent credit cap from the proposed 450 million to 400 million. This is a disciplined update to maintain capacity in an important economic development tool while providing strong fiscal safeguards. I appreciate the division's work on this bill to get to here, and I would just urge the committee to support the motion. Thank you.
Further discussion on the motion of ought to pass as amended. Representative Munns.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will be voting against this bill. I agree that the legislature should use every tool at its disposal to sustain and encourage economic development in our state. While that includes trying to attract new businesses to our state, it also includes building the units needed to house the employees of those businesses, the water, wastewater treatment, and energy infrastructure needed to support that housing, and the child care centers and schools to care for and educate the children of those employees. We heard testimony in Division One from the state treasurer that with the existing loan guarantees already in place, the state is currently at about 65% of the affordable debt limit set in statute in RSA 6C:2. Before agreeing to double from 200 million to 400 million, state guarantees that are mainly intended to be used to attract new businesses to our state, I believe that the legislature should first consider what our other pressing state priorities can or should be supported through programs leveraging the full faith and credit of the state. There's no doubt for a need to support continued business investment in our state, but there are other pressing priorities as well that should not be overlooked in our rush to ensure that we can attract one or two large new businesses in our state. So I hope that others of you will join me in voting no on OTPA. Thank you.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll on the motion of ought to pass as amended.
Mr. Chair, I have a brief comment.
Yes, Representative Stringham.
So I didn't have the advantage of being part of Division One on this, but this is the kind of companies that we're trying to attract that I work with all the time in the medical tech space. And if we're going to put our full faith and credit behind these, I think be best to put it on things that actually make a difference. And I think the biggest objections to working in New Hampshire is just available workforce. The biggest challenge of available workforce is housing. And I would prefer if we have extra credit space available, that we put it in a direction that actually would build high-quality jobs in the long run in that space. So I'm going to support my colleague's statement and vote no on this motion.
Thank you. Representative Munns, your light is on. Did you have anything further? All right. Clerk will call the roll on ought to pass as amended on House Bill 1042, 1042. I see.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney,
Yes.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Spilsbury,
Yes.
Representative Campbell,
Yes.
Representative Papavici Miller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Guyson,
Yes.
Representative Mattson,
Yes.
Representative Carol McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Nalvanko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Walner,
No.
Representative Leachman,
Yes.
Representative Murray,
No.
Representative Lane,
No.
Representative Turleski,
No.
Representative Schultz,
No.
Representative Stringham,
No.
Representative Murray,
No.
Representative Rung,
Yes.
Chair Weiler.
Yes.
Looks like 16 to.
You missed,
You-
you
sorry.
call Representative Munns?
Hang on, I did. I missed Kelly, I'm sorry, my
You
apologies.
Miss Kelly. All right.
My apologies. Representative Kelly,
No.
Did you count Representative
I
Munns?
counted ones. Yeah.
Did you get called?
What, how did you vote?
How would you like to vote?
I'm going to keep everybody in suspense. No, I'm going to vote yes. No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
So,
Yeah, the count is 16 to 9, I guess.
16 to 9.
Right, let me ask. Is your motion ITL? You'll write a minority report, yeah?
Yes, my motion is ITL. And I will write the minority report.
All right, thank you. All right.
Hmm?
Oh, no, two.
What was your question?
What was the vote?
It was 16 to 9. All right. Next page. House Bill 1411.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. At this time, I would like to recognize Representative Griffin for a motion on House Bill 1411.
I would like to move ITL on House Bill 1411,
And there's a second from Carol McGuire.
and I'd like to speak to it, Mr. Chair.
I'd like to speak to your motion. I think we'll be able to finish and be out of here before much accumulation. The weather thing says the temperature's still above freezing. It's like 34 or 5. Yep.
This bill would direct our state treasurer under certain circumstances to withhold all payments by the state to the federal government. The majority of our state's payments to the federal government consists of remittances and matching of taxes withheld from our employees and withholdings of our employees. By withholding our share of FICA and Medicare, the state would be subject to onerous interest and penalty charges. To withhold the money paid by our employees would be a federal crime, a felony. Just to encourage the withholding of taxes from our state's employees and not remitting them would be illegal. Likewise, a person voting for this bill could be construed to doing just that. It was only a year ago that our House unanimously elected our state treasurer. Let's not see our treasurer in handcuffs on her way to jail. Support the ITL motion.
Thank you. Further discussion as the snow continues to fall. Representative Rung.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As I discussed in division, I'm against the ITL because I would like to bring a motion for interim study. I think we need to have a discussion about what our recourse is as the state. You know, maybe not as specific as outlined in this bill, but what our recourse is as a state when the federal government does not meet its financial obligations. Specifically, I'm very concerned about the proposed ICE facility in Merrimack and that the federal government is going to leave our community and perhaps our state holding the bag for hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe even more, in lost property tax revenue, use of town facilities and services. And I want a study committee to really look at this to see if how we can address those issues as a state. So I urge my colleagues to vote against the ITL so a motion of interim study could be brought forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? All right, the clerk will call the roll on the motion of inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 1411.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney,
Yes.
clerk votes yes. Representative Spilsbury,
Yes.
Representative Cambrose,
Yes.
Representative Papavici Mueller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Guyson,
Yes.
Representative Mattson,
Yes.
Representative Carol McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Nalvanko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
No.
Representative Leachman,
No.
Representative Murray,
No.
Representative Lang,
No.
Representative Terlisky,
No.
Representative Schultz,
No.
Representative Stringham,
No.
Representative Amory,
No.
Representative Rung,
No.
Representative Munns,
No.
Representative Kelly.
No.
The vote is.
Wyler votes yes.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Mr. Chair, I didn't, left you out a few times.
All right, is it going to be a minority report?
It will, Mr. Chair.
All right, who's going to do it? Peter?
For interim study.
Mr.
Yep.
It's 14.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Representative Chalersky.
Thank you. I would just like to express my concern over the language used by the gentleman reading his remarks, implying that someone who voted against the motion would be doing something potentially criminal or wrong. And I would hope that that language is not included in the House calendar as a majority report. Thank you.
Well, it might be true. Have you looked it up?
I think if I read my remarks correctly, it says could be. I didn't say was.
Well, I believe some of us could be offended by the implication that our opinion on the motion would have that.
All right, we'll have it under discussion. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next we have bills that have not come to any particular division, but are, I think there is some fair agreement on what's going to happen. So I bring your attention to House Bill 1166. This is a bill from one of my friends, but he thinks that we shouldn't put anything in HB2 that doesn't have a line item in HB1. Most of HB2 does not have things in. And since the process of doing the budget is I have to accept what comes from the governor. And also I have to accept what comes from Ways and Means. Ways and Means gives me the bottom line. I don't spend any more than that, and that's why we don't send it out of this committee with any more money than what Ways and Means suggests will be the revenue. So, but if I get a whole big change of of a department reorganizing it, and it doesn't really have much in the way of HB1, which is, we've all experienced. I usually send it on to a policy committee. I sent things to Carol McGuire when she was chairing ED&A, where they did 30 pages of reorganization of OPLC. It was not the great place for it, but I felt we were stuck with it. Plus, when we have other bills that come to us as a second committee during the first year of the budget, excuse me, and we're supposed to do something with them. Most of the time, we retain the bills and try to put the money in the budget. So in some cases, that there is no line item that goes in HB1, it's just a change of something that comes to us because it affects something. And I try for the best. If we all support the bill as it comes to us, we try to put it in HB2, so it will be funded, because obviously in most of those cases it had an overwhelming support by our House. So we can't decide we're not going to support it, so it goes in HB2. So what this suggests is unworkable in my mind, and I hope none of you think it's going to work, because, you know, and as Mike Kane and I have had discussions, he says, well, what are you going to do, HB3? And, you know, put all that stuff in HB3, because right now, that's what I do. HB1 is strictly the funds as it comes to me, and HB2 is everything else. So I'm hoping we can say to my friend, it doesn't work, inexpedient. So I think one of you was going to move inexpedient. Representative McGuire.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, I move inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 1166.
Is there a second?
Second.
Representative Earth. Thank you. All right, further discussion. Representative Wallner.
Thank you. I am going to vote in favor of the ITL. I think, though, the bill is a good reminder to us that we need to be cautious and very careful about what we put into House Bill 2. And as we enter into another budget session in just a few months, actually, I think we need to really think carefully about what we put there and be sure that members understand what's in HB2. And it's not easy because it's a huge document, but the members do deserve to understand what's in that document. So I think that this piece of legislation is probably not workable, but I just want to be sure that as this committee goes into the budget session a year from now or several months from now, that we are very careful about how we use HB2.
Further discussion. Representative Munns.
For all of the reasons that Representative Wallner mentioned as to, you know, what we need to be doing as we're doing the budget process, I am going to get on my white horse and grab my spear and start charging at a windmill, and I will be voting in favor of this bill.
Thank you. Okay, so you're voting against the ITL. Thank you. It wasn't clear when the way you stated it. All right. Further discussion. Seeing none, the clerk will call a roll on inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 1166.
Representative McGuire.
Yes.
Representative Earth.
Yes.
Representative Mooney.
Yes.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Spilsbury.
Yes.
Representative Campbell.
Yes.
Representative Papavici Mueller.
Yes.
Representative Sweeney.
Yes.
Representative Guyson.
Yes.
Representative Mattson.
Yes.
Representative Carol McGuire.
Yes.
Representative Nalvanko.
Yes.
Representative Farrington.
Yes.
Representative Wallner.
Yes.
Representative Leachman.
Yes.
Representative Murray.
Yes.
Representative Lane.
Yes.
Representative Terlitzky.
Yes.
Representative Schultz.
Yes.
Yes.
Representative Stringham.
Yes.
Representative A. Murray.
Yes.
Representative Rung.
Yes.
Representative Munns.
No.
Representative
no.
Kelly.
Yes.
It is, Chair Weiler.
Yes.
It is 24-1.
24-1, and is there going to be a minority report?
Absolutely not.
Can it go on consent?
Better get off that horse then.
Mr.
All right.
Chairman, can it go on consent?
Do you object to it going on consent? All right, we can put consent on that one. Very good.
Is anything going on consent?
Yes, we got a couple of them. We had
1566.
We all have to do that one
1566
And
and
1166.
and 1166. Must be, all right, starting to accumulate. Hey, I think we'll finish up today. House Bill 1311. This is another full committee establishing a regulatory analysis fund to evaluate the economic impact of proposed rules and making an appropriation therefore. That sounds like a bottomless pit for throwing money down. Because the rules just keep coming thick and fast, and sometimes the analysis is very difficult. And- All right, so Carol McGuire moves inexpedient to legislate.
I didn't hear that.
Is there a second? Second. Representative Stringham. Okay, further discussion?
Mr. Chair, if I might.
Carol
start.
McGuire.
Yeah,
Carol.
the intent is good because some of the rules have a vast impact on the people of the state. And the LBA analysis that we usually get is very good at identifying what the agency's effect is. They're not too bad on things like municipal efforts. But if it's the rest of the state, the people of the state, it's very, very hard to quantify. And frequently, the rules can't be properly examined for the impact to the people of the state because we don't have the data. The thing is that this sets up a dedicated fund and a special process to order a economic analysis of a rule. And this is something that doesn't come up all that often. Most of the rules do not affect the people of the state in that complicated a manner that you need a $500,000 economic analysis. There are very few. And I think that those, if there is such an analysis necessary, it can be handled on an ad hoc basis. Talk to the LBA, have them appeal to fiscal for say, we need real help on this one specific issue and get some money. We don't want to set up a dedicated fund and keep track of it and a process to do something that may be, once every 5 or 6 years.
Thank you.
So I think we should kill this bill.
Further discussion? The motion before us is inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 1311. Clerk will call the roll on that motion.
Representative McGuire.
Yes.
Representative Earth.
Yes.
Representative Mooney.
Yes.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Spilsbury.
Yes.
Representative Cambrose.
Yes.
Representative Papapichi Mueller.
Yes.
Representative Sweeney.
Yes.
Representative Goddison.
Yes.
Representative Mattson.
Yes.
Representative Carol McGuire.
Yes.
Representative Nalvanko.
Yes.
Yes.
Representative Farrington.
Yes.
Representative Walner.
Yes.
Representative Leachman.
Yes.
Representative Murray.
Yes.
Representative Lang.
Yes.
Representative Terlisky.
Yes.
Representative Schultz.
Yes.
Representative Stringham.
Yes.
Representative A. Murray.
Yes.
Representative Rung.
Yes.
Representative Munns.
Yes.
Representative Kelly.
Yes.
Chair Weiler.
Yes.
It is unanimous, 25.
All right, any objection to this going on consent? Thank you very much. All right. Doesn't look like we got too much accumulation. We finished the work for the day. I figure I appreciate all of your attendance. And we'll all get out of here before it gets too slippery. We are adjourned. If you have a report written, please deliver it to me. Thank you. Thank you very much for taking.
Can you hand me your pen?